Hey guys, so we just read in the last article, well, not the last article, the article before that. They were talking about Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, and how it's basically just the team disbanded, no longer exists because the game sold poorly. Um, quite frankly, if my if he doesn't look like Jake Gyllenhaal, I don't want to play it. I demand Jake Gyllenhaal. Um, so people were like, I mean, we watched a review from IGN because they're a reliable source. Um, but it looked nice. But I think people were kind of taken back because it wasn't like a traditional. Well, it was traditional in a sense because people forget this game started out on the Nintendo. It started out on Nintendo, so it was a side scroller, just like this one is. Um, People seem to forget that. They just remember the 3D version, when it came out. But I mean, visually it looked nice. Um, Combat itself looked fairly smooth, which, when you play a game, that's kind of what you want. Smooth combat, smooth gameplay, controls that are responsive, and you don't have to you press up and it takes like 2 seconds before it, registers, and so it looked like a pretty good game. It's just the game had like no marketing, just no one knew about it. But yeah, because of that loss of money and Prince I was about to say Prince of Persia shuts down the Ubisoft development team. No, Ubisoft disbanded the Prince of Persia Lost Crown development team. The rumor comes from the French channel Origami, who, saying that the office is transporting boxes of supplies from one floor to another. He notes the reason was that it was done because Ubisoft disbanded the Prince of Persia Lost Crown development team. Like, I don't even, did this game even get any DLC or anything in its short time here? Like, using YouTube's translate function, the Origami host states, in recent days, Ubisoft not even gonna bother. I remember saying I'm just not even gonna bother. We are transporting boxes from one floor to another, and it's quite as simple because it's that dissolution not announced to the public but completed. The Prince of Persia team, Prince of Persia team of Prince of Persia Lost Crown. But yeah, you can see the game looks really nice, very solid. Like when it comes to graphics, very polished and very nice looking. The backgrounds are beautiful, and so it's a shame to see it. I know one people kind of complained about the character itself. Like, okay, it's Prince of Persia. What's he supposed to be? Is he Persian? Is what? They gave him the haircut. That haircut that everyone the side shaved and like the braid or dread kind of thing draped over. So it's like they gave him that. So they're like, what is he even supposed to be? What even is this? I mean, for me, I look at the character. I'm like, he has a good enough design, so it's like whatever. The gameplay is kind of what you want to focus on here, since it's side scroller. A lot of jumping, a lot of off walls, and as long as that's okay, then whatever. And the way it looked like it was perfectly fine. It looked like things were responsive and pretty easy to pull off maneuvers. And O's went on to share the decision to disband the team, which was made shortly after the release of the beginning of the year. It released on January 18, 2024, for Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. He said it was clear in the spring, in fact, a few patches of DLC, and we're packing up. I mean, did any of that even come out? Yeah, we have these bosses, these boss fights. That looks really cool. While Ubisoft management made the decision to move on from one game shortly after it was released, the host claimed that some members of the core development team fought for 2 DLCs an attempt to change the minds of management. However, Ubisoft management were unconvinced, especially given the game's sales were below expectations. Um, Again, very colorful, very. I mean, look at the back. Like, is that something's wing? That's crazy. Um, so only had a peak player count of 1446, and then as of October, we've got about 115. Concord. Concord. The game that will go down in history as one of the worst games ever created. So bad that it had to be pulled, and everyone who wanted got refunds. Um, Furthermore, given this game released to Steam in August, it's likely Ubisoft was factoring in at least a decent bump in sales for its second quarter alongside its Star Wars Outlaws. It's just one thing after another with this company. However, in press release at the end of September, do you remember? Ubisoft announced that it was significantly cutting back its expectations for the second quarter, cutting expectations of everything. From 500 million to 350 to 370 million. That's a decrease of 30%. It also noted that it was lowering its yearly expectations to around 100.995 and around break even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. The company explains the revised targets are mainly a reflection of a decision taken for Assassin's Creed Shadows and the softer than expected launch for Star Wars Outlaws. In the accompanying trading update call, CEO Yves Guillemot, this dude who wants to sit there and tell you to, don't believe your lying eyes, was asked by Nicholas Langland of BNP Paribas. So the Q2 guidance, is it only Star Wars Outlaws or is there something else underperforming in the portfolio? Everything. He responded, it mostly reflects the softer than expected sales for Star Wars Outlaws. We also had behind expectations for X Defiant, which I think that's another one that I saw brought up here in one of the articles. This is one poor game after another. It's like this company does not know how to make good games anymore. It just doesn't. It's like I don't know if they just don't know, like they don't have the skilled people there anymore, or they just don't care. But it's one bad game after another. How does a company manage to do this? How can they manage to do this and stay in business? It's insane. This company's been around for what, 20, 30 or more years, and yet they were great back in the day, and now it's just one crap game after another, and they can't keep getting away with it. Which we will be we will give you a bit more detail at the end of October. While he had not mentioned Prince of Persia Lost Crowns, it's possible based on the player count we are seeing that this game did not meet sales expectations well. Well, I mean, marketing is a big thing. If you don't market the game, people don't know about it. If people don't know about it, then it won't make money. But then there are some games that come out that people don't know about, but because they're so good and unexpected, word gets around. Apparently, people didn't like the game that much because no one was talking about it. But then I brought it before. You have a game like Five Nights at Freddy's. You have people like Markiplier and all of them streaming it, or not streaming it, but playing it. Suddenly, oh my God, have you heard about this Five Nights at Freddy's game? Suddenly, everyone and their mother is buying it, and then you're 50 books in, an entire game franchise. You got 2 movies, or 1 movie and another one coming. Because so it's just word of mouth. Just sometimes can make a game sell better. But I never heard anything about since January. Not once out of here. Oh, hey guys, you should play this Prince of Persia game. It's really, no, I never, anyone, not on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. There's no one. So they didn't really market the game themselves. The gamers, the people playing the game who would be great at marketing it just by saying how great of a game it is and, you know, bigger YouTubers playing it, that wasn't happening apparently. So you fail. You know, maybe spend a little more money on the marketing then. If you want your game to sell, you just can't, oh, well, it's on Steam, so people will see it. No, they won't. Just because it's on Steam doesn't mean they're going to see it. And even if it's on Steam, that's not a guarantee that people are going to want to buy it. They need a reason to buy it. You know, sometimes, you know, you look on the Steam page and you see like, oh, what the game's about, and you see some pictures and a video and stuff, and like, okay, well, I'm just seeing pictures, so why should I trust that the game is good? Especially from a huge company like them, or EA, or, you know, Bethesda, and it's almost like they're just kind of relying on their name to sell games now, which clearly it's not working. Clearly it's not working. But hey, what do we know? But you know, it's a shame because, like I said, when I watched the review, it looked like a really cool game. Yeah, it's not the 3D jumping on walls going that way, and you know, it's just a side scroller type. But it had like that Metroid feel of having just one massive area that was like a maze. Hollow Knight's the same way. Castlevania, some of the Castlevania games where they just put you in the castle and you've got all these levels, you got the outside, but it's all connected. So market better, guys. You got to market. You can't just run on your name alone. And you can't just expect, oh, Prince of Persia, I'm just going to buy it without even thinking. So, really not surprised. Looked like a cool game. And I mean, obviously it's going to stay on Steam, I'm sure, but who knows? Maybe it'll just surge. It'll just surge. And it'll be like 1 million players. But anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.